Hello, art buddies. Come on in. This is kind of going to be like a workshop. I'm just going to sit here at my desk, invite you in, and I'm going to put together a Halloween themed journal. I don't usually do Halloween, which I mentioned in a live the other day, but I have some bits of paper left over, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to throw one together and pop it into my Etsy shop. So that's the plan. This could be lengthy. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I've got a little bit of an idea. I don't have much in the way of supplies as far as paper and things to add into the journal, but we'll just see how it goes. So I grabbed a basket. I have my paper bits in, which are graphic 45 bits. And then I've got some stamps. I've got some fabric type things, some small black seed beads. This isn't really Halloween, but it's got the orange color. I'm going for green, orange, black, purple. And I should have recorded this the other day, but I didn't. I've got a huge tablet of what it says on the cover, sketchbook paper. They call it cartridge paper, butter paper. I never heard of it. It's a pretty nice size, pretty good size weight. It's probably about, oh, it's got to be at least a 62-pound weight. And what I did initially was painted it with my coffee and then put some of my dilution and um, the Ranger sprays on my jelly plate, spritz them with water, and then just slap them down and try to sop up some of the ink. Now, on the paper pad, it says that it's got a very high tolerance to water. It also had some tissue paper in between a regular paper. I guess so if you're sketching, your graphite doesn't get from one page to another. So I threw some of that in, and then I just did some stitching. I've just got them folded in half. It's just going to be a simple 3 pamphlet journal. I did a little bit of fussy cutting, not a lot. And I've got some other things in here that I think might come in handy. So now I pulled out this bag. I have two of these. So I don't know if I want to cut this up or how I might use this, but I think I want to use that. So I'm just going to set these supplies off to the side if I can. Now, I will warn you that my husband is power washing, so I'm hoping that will not disturb us. Oh, there he is. I just closed that because I thought if you're going to power wash.
I'm done right now.
Okay. So in this paper pack, I had a couple of larger prints that I wanted to try to keep intact. So I fussy cut it a little bit at the bottom of this. Now, this is some vintage old um, graphic 45, and unfortunately, I cut it all apart, so I don't know the names of these. My last live, I did mention some of it. This one of them is Midnight Tales because it's got it right there. And I'm going to do this on the front cover. And I think I'm going to leave it kind of plain other than that. And I think I'm going to make that a pocket. But I wanted to include these as pages. So what I was thinking is that that, if I put these 2 pages on a piece of fabric, I should be able to get it in the book. Now, of course, I've got a bit of an avalanche going here. So let's see what I have. Now, if you've not tuned into my channel before and not subscribed, I would love it if you would do that. We're really getting close to 2,000 subbies. And for a content creator, that's an exciting thing. All right, so this is the edge of a sheet, I think, or maybe a shower curtain. And I think I might be able to use that. Now, maybe I should make it the length of my book. Let's do that. All right, so let me give that a trim. If I can find where I put my little scissors. Now, this is stitched together, and of course you can see it's a bright color, which I don't really want that in this book. I want to keep things maybe somewhat muted. Let's put that little piece of lace, put that stuff aside here. Now this still is stitched. Let's see if I can easily get this to come apart. Now this is how I generally would work if I'm not recording. And I thought about doing this and not recording. But then I thought, hey, why not? So if you haven't subscribed, if you would do that, that would help me. We have different benchmarks as a content creator, and you know, when you get to get into a new number grouping, it's a little exciting because there's a little bit, well, it's enjoyable to have a YouTube channel for me, but it also is nice to know that maybe you are teaching somebody something, at least for me, or helping them maybe expand their creativity or their confidence to do a little more in the creative art world. It's just fun. Now, I'm not even going to worry about taking those stitches, you know, out, I don't think. But I do want to put some color on this. So I keep some plain black coffee in my refrigerator, which it's, yeah, that's looking a little hairy, isn't it? Ooh, nice. All right, now I think I want to cut that little bit off there. Let's see, this is going to get a little wonky, I'm thinking. But that's okay, because this is a Halloween journal. So if you're watching and this gets a little too long, just take note of where you stopped and then come back later. Actually, I think YouTube just holds your place for you. All right, so that's a little piece of cotton that I want to use. Now I've got a ShamWow rag here that I use to put underneath. But I'm going to create some moisture on my desk. So I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to take a paintbrush, and this is like the tail end of my coffee. You don't need a jar this big. But if you've got instant coffee, go to the dollar store or Dollar General. Don't pay a lot for instant coffee. Just get some instant coffee. You could use tea too. I like my things a little darker, so I go with the coffee. And that seems to work well for me. So I just put some hot water in a measuring cup, or you know, you could just throw it right in your jar. Put your coffee in, throw it in the microwave, and then put it in a jar. Keep it in your fridge. It will go moldy. Now, some people put some alcohol in it, and they say that that helps and it doesn't get moldy. I've not been successful with that. Mine always gets moldy. Now, I've got my iron here. I could let this dry naturally or use my heat tool, but I could lie and tell you, since I'm recording, I need it to dry right away. But the truth is, I can't wait. So if I'm not thinking ahead and I didn't plan, or I don't have a piece of fabric prepared for what I want to use, I go ahead and use my iron. Now you see I have different, it's time for me to really rinse out my ShamWow here, get all this paint out of here. And some of it is probably going to suck up. See, I'm getting some color up here on my, that's okay with me. It just helps it look more grungy. See, it's my craft iron. Now this was really wet. So you can let it dry naturally. But if you put your iron, and this works with paper too. If you put your iron on this, this will dry out a lot quicker than it does using the heat gun. I keep my iron plugged in just for occasions like this. So that when I want to use it. Now that coffee also, coffee has a little bit of sugar in it. So see, that's just nice and stiff now. Which is kind of cool. All right, that looks like that will work in my book really nicely. I'm going to get my iron back in its spot. Put my ShamWow aside. Now, my thought is to glue one of the pages here. Because this is going to be this way. And I'm going to get my Fabri-Tac. I probably should mark this. Oh my gosh, I think I buried all my pencils. That's really not a surprise. I'm just looking to see what I have handy. I know I have pencils to the left of me, but if I grab one of those, you're going to hear a very big noise. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball it. This isn't going to be a real pristine, cute. I mean, it's going to be cute, but it's a Halloween journal, so it's okay if it's not perfect, right? You know what the easier thing would have been? Duh. Just put the glue on the paper. Put the glue on the paper, Paint Girly. All right, let's put that there. Now, what I want is for this to fold in half. And then this one, I'm going to try to get it on. See, I really did that, but I should have put, okay, let's see if I do it this way. Maybe I can get it. See, because I fussy cut the bottom of this. Oh, it's going to hit either way. So, yep, it's just the way it's going to be. It's the way it's going to be. But I want to make sure it's facing the correct way. So when I stitch it in, I want it facing this way. All right, so I want my glue in front of where I started to fussy cut there. Now this may be a little more, well, I guess not. If I pop my holes through, because I'm going to be going through material fabric. Now I could do this with paper also to then get it in my book, but I wanted to do the fabric. So I'm basically making a folio to add these pages into my journal. And I think that's going to be okay. Now I might have to trim a little, but I'm trying to think about all these things before I stitch my pages together. So now I have to find a spot that I want to nestle this in. That might go good there. So I'm just going to tuck that in. Now you can see I deckled some of my edges. These edges are not. That's fine. I've got quite a few pages in there, so there's going to be some bulk. They're not all even. I'm good with all that. Like I said, this is not a wedding journal. This is a Halloween journal. So it can be a little wackadoodle. All right, now I've got my lemonade here, but I need to spin there they are. I need to find my poking tool. And what I pulled out was a bit of this thread, rope, twine that I got off of an old blind. And there's a knot, so I've got to get rid of that knot. And I'm going to use that to tie my journal together. Okay. So I'm just going to do 3 holes, 3 pamphlet stitch. It's going to be real simple. So I'm going to poke a hole through the center. Can you see that? And then one at the top. I'm trying to catch all my pages. And then one at the bottom. And then I need to find a needle. Needle in a haystack. I have those round needles there. Sometimes they don't work so well for me. Let's see. But they have a nice big eye. This curved needle. I think probably upholstery seamstress use these curved needles. Let's see how I do. All right, so now I left my tool in that hole to kind of keep everything lined up. Now I've got to find my center. Here it is. So I'm coming through the center. And I'm starting in the center of the book because that's where I want my ties to be. And I'm going to leave a little tail. And then I'm going to go down here and find the hole I made. Now sometimes it's a little fiddly. And sometimes it'll go right through. Now you could clip this, but I didn't. I have a little bit of arthritis in my hand, and so it's not always easy for me to grab that. I think I've got it. Oh, I can get my tissue paper. All right, so I'm just pushing that needle through. I think for me, the straighter needle is easier. So I'm going to pull that tight. And then I'm going to come all the way down to my last hole. I've got those 3 holes. And you want to pull that snug. Again, I've said this many times before. You don't want to pull it so tight that your paper buckles, but you don't want to have it loopy. Don't do the loopy. Now I've got to come back in through that center hole. And I want to avoid piercing my thread. You know what? I'm going to get a straight needle for this. The thing is that straight needles, the ones that I have, they don't all have a very big eye for threading. And this is a double cord. So I was anticipating, yeah, see, it's not going through correctly. Okay, let's take a little trim. Sometimes doesn't go so good, and you have to fiddle with it. You can always dampen those. I just saw my little spray thing. I don't know if I can, my water, there it is. The water I have in my paint water jar is down so low. I don't think this would go in. Bum, 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 bum. Shall I sing you a song? I don't know if this is going to work. I might have to go back to the, yeah, that eye. The eye of the tiger. Let's see that. Oh, this one's bigger. Let's try this one. Between the old eyes and the thread that's separating, I think I have gotten it. Okay. So now that I made that much more difficult than it needed to be, I'll come back through this center hole. I'm not hitting it straight on. Oh my goodness. I'm making this much more difficult than it is. Trying to find where that needle came up. I went crooked. There it is. At last, I've done it. Now, of course, you can put your pages together any way you like. This is just a simple 3 pamphlet stitch. And part of the problem is that it was double. I wanted it to be strong enough so it doesn't break. So it's 2 threads, and it looks like I did pierce my threads a little bit. I like to put one of my threads on either side of my center thread when I tie it down. Okay, so you want it nice and snug. You see that? And then in the center, you want it snug. And then you can tie a knot, a bow, whatever you might like. Let's just do a bow for now. I'm going to take that needle off the end. And I'm thinking I might want to add a charm. So I'm not going to trim that real short just yet. Now I want this for my front cover. Right here I'd stitched with some orange rusty thread. So I want that for my front cover. And then I was thinking, I don't know if I want to put, I'm thinking about putting, if I put that on the cover, this is just a piece of vintage open stitched work napkin, cloth napkin. I kind of like that. And then I was thinking I'd have this on the front as my pocket. But see, this is a little too light in color, I think, to go with the whole look. So we're going to do this again. We're going to grab that coffee and my brush. Now you could dip this, put it right in your jar, wring it out. But I'm sitting here at my desk. If I do that, I'm going to be at the sink, so I can wring out the coffee and not make too much of a mess. So the extra coffee is going into the ShamWow, so I'm not making too much of a mess on my desk. Now I'm going to get that iron back, and then we'll see how it looks. I love doing this with paper because the paper dries really quickly, which is wonderful. So you're not sitting and waiting for components when you're trying to put a project together. I was thinking about going on and doing this live, but there were some other folks on, number one. And sometimes you can just get a little more done when you don't have anyone to talk to. You're kind of just, it's weird doing a video because you're just kind of really talking to yourself. See, now that's already dry. Oh, it's just a yummy piece of fabric. I think I want it wrapped around the spine. I'm just not sure about the placement of it. Now, I don't want to go too overboard with the journal. So my paper got wet. So I could go here and do that. Down here. I could go, I could always cut this too. Here. So many choices. I'm not sure I like that. So I want this to be a pocket. Maybe I will make it a little more narrow. See if I can. Oh yeah, that's nice. When that tears like that. Thinking about scooting it under my binding. I think I like that. All right, so I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, get that down. And for me, it doesn't have to stick all the way down. Like sometimes I just put a little bit of glue in the center or my corners. And really, without a lot of effort, we've already got something really cool going. I do like to keep this capped up though. Try to remember. Now, somewhere here on my desk is my art glitter glue. And you can use any kind of white glue for this. And I'm just going to do the 3 sides. Well, it's 2 sides and the bottom, I should say. Now, I'm hoping that sticks to the fabric. It may not. We may have to scoot a little Fabri-Tac in there. We'll see how that goes. And these needle nose glue applicators are wonderful. But you got to make sure you put your pin back in there. All right, so the cover is just, at least at this point, very simple. Now I want to go in and start decorating some of these pages. And where I stitched, I like to leave some of the threads on, but not too terribly long, you know, where they would get in your way. So let's just have a look through. Okay, so there's the page we added with the fabric. That turned out cool. So I want to think about building some pockets. This is a piece of tissue paper. Got tissue paper in the center. All right, so now I know I have a piece of green fabric. I'm thinking I might want to put that on here. So let me dig that out. Now I can do that. I can wrap the edge. I can make a tab, or I can just put a patch. Kind of like that. Let's cut this down. So I'm just going to start putting things on pages. I don't think I have any purple fabric. I've got that purple netting. I think I'm going to wrap this around. Oh yeah, that's cool. Okay. Now I want to get out some black ink. Now I could have stamped and done that kind of decorating on the pages before I stitched it together. That probably would have been a wise thing to do. But I'm just starting to build it, so there's not a lot in it to impede me being able to do that. So now this is something I got in a pack of goodies I bought online, and I just don't even know what it is, but it's very stiff, and I thought that might look cool with October 31st stamped on it. So I pulled this out. Or maybe I'll just do the 31. I've got some other stamping numbers here that I think look a little more Halloweenish. They look a little scratchy. Maybe we'll just do 31. Let's see what that looks like. I thought my one was missing. Oh no. All right, let's see. I tend to be a little dyslexic with this stuff too. Let me see if I can grab a stamping block. All right, so I am so dyslexic. I need the 3 going this way and the 1 going that way. Now, I thought I had gotten my ink pad out. See if I put it in my, I should have put it in my little supply basket here, but I don't see it. It is. I'm going to use my StazOn. Now, I could stamp right on the page, but I'm thinking I want to stamp on this fabric. See what this looks like. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Did I do it right? Yeah. 31. See if I can get it to fit where I want it to. There's a cut right there in that fabric, but I think this will work. See, it's cut right there, but that won't bother, right? Oh, I like that number. I like the way that's stamped. So, do I want to put it that way? Yeah, I think I want to put it this way. My iron's making all kinds of grunting sounds. Whoops. All right, let's get this down. I'm thinking I should probably put on my, turn on my hot glue gun. So that's not a lot on a page, right? But it's still cool. You don't need a whole lot. As they say, sometimes less is more. Now, if you're going to use washi tape, you want to make sure that you put some extra glue down. I have no idea what this says. This says this side up. I'm just going to pop it there. Now, this next section says with love. I don't think I want that. No, it's not peeling off very well. That's not good. It says contents enclosed. Let's use that section. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that right down here. Probably the better thing to do would be to put the glue on the tape. And even if that curls up a little bit, if you don't get it everywhere on a Halloween journal, I think that would be fine. All right, now this doesn't mean that this page is done, but it could be. Now I've got this really cool stamp. It's got, I think that's supposed to be maybe Mona Lisa. I'm not sure. It's got an eye, a partial face, and I don't know who that's supposed to be. But I think I want to use this face and stamp this on that page. Let's just see how that looks. Even if it doesn't come out whole in a Halloween journal, that works fine. Ooh, yeah. Cool, right? Let's put the eyeball. Well, maybe we should do that one. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, goodness, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I've been stamped these for a while. I have Tim Holtz crows and birds. Do you think I could find those? Goodness, I don't know where I stuck those. All right, I'm going to try not to get it so square, but that might be difficult. I didn't ink as heavily. It's just a hint of a face. It's kind of cool. Oh, I love this one. Let's put this one up here. I have no idea where I got this stamp. Can you see that? Isn't it cool? Let's see. Does it have any information on it? Stampers Anonymous. A creative block number 10. Who knew? Not me. All right, cool. All right, I didn't put my pin back in my glue. I want to do that. I want to do that. Now I've got some other cutouts. I've got some bugs. Well, I've got a bug. I've got that purple fabric. Oh, here's another. All right, I've got this little witch. And I've got some, regular strips, which might be nice to create pockets. And maybe I could use this to make a tag. And then I've got a couple of postage stamp type pieces. Those cats. That would make a tuck spot. We can leave that open if it's not. Okay, he didn't hear me. All right, let's find a place for this gal. I think I want her on the front. See, I look at her and I think do 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 do. Maybe we could just put those in the pocket. Wouldn't that be lovely? I may not use everything. I might just include this. And then if someone purchases this, they can put it where they want. I cut those kitties crooked. Didn't I? Didn't I? Let's see. Oh my, that's really crooked. Off with their tails. See that? Can you see that white edge? I do not like the white edge. I might use that around the edge of a page like a tab. And maybe a little bit of this fabric might be nice with that. Just go through your scraps in your stash. See what you've got available. And see what works together. Oh, I don't want to tear the kitty in half. Right? I'm used to having to look up and see if somebody's talking to me. You're talking to me. All right, so we've got this. Oh, we've got that decorated page right there. Let's find another spot for this. So that's tissue paper. All right, let's go here. And let's go here. I think I am going to cut this because I think it will be too much bulk to use it as a bag. A little pop of purple might look good under here. Let's just say. Let's leave that doubled up. I want to make sure I just have the one page. And I'm going to get my tiny attacher. And let's go this way. Okay. Now maybe on this side we'll just put a little bow. So let's cut this ribbon. Let's see if I can get that out. Ba-bum-bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. There we go. There we go. Let's just tie a regular. Let's tie a regular little bow. Now this is very soft ribbon, so it's not going to cause too much of a issue with the pages, you know, not closing or. I want it to be nice and tight. So I'm just pulling that really tight, see, and then I'll adjust the tails to cover up the back of that staple bump. And maybe a little bit of cheesecloth. That's always a good idea. A little bit of cheesecloth. Somewhere I put a really cool piece. It was the back of a book spine that I had taken apart. And that might look good on one of these pages. All right, so I'm going to put that down. Let's get my hot glue. Hopefully that's... Need me another glue stick. Glue stick. Let's see. Let's grab one. Now, like I said, don't forget, you can watch this video in sections. Don't get too discouraged. I mean, it takes a little while, especially if this is your first go at making a journal, or the first time you're doing a journal that might be a Halloween theme. You know, you don't have the prototype, you know, you don't necessarily know what you want to do. And then if you want to make, you know, 6 of them, the rest of them would go fast. All right, so I want to put this somewhere and make a pocket or a tuck spot. Maybe on that page. Let's get my little cutter. I keep knocking my little scrap bowl over. Let's cut it right about there. Look, I have this attached to my sleeve. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Getting to know you. I'm going to put a little ink in my cardstock. And I'm going to ink these edges. Now, I'm not crazy about this being just solid like this. So I'm going to see what else I have handy. Handy to put something on that as well, because I'm not crazy about that. Now, you might like it fine. And that is swell. But I need a little something else there. Let's see what we have in our basket of tricks. Oh, isn't she darling? We could make her into a tag, couldn't we? Yes, we could. I could use the flip side and make a little belly band, could I not? But of course I could. Oh, my finger's just got a little stiff there. Okay, let's see. Let's go right there. I like the top half better than the bottom. I don't know why I cut with my scissors, because I never like it when I'm done. It always looks crooked to me. You know, the old crooked eye syndrome. doing those edges. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's just see what I have in my bag, because I think I might like. Yeah, look at this yummy stuff. See how a little bit of fabric just to me makes such a difference. So let's do that. All right, let's make this a little pocket. Now, of course, I'm going to have to create little things to go in the pocket. Mm-hmm. Now you can measure all this stuff where you want to lay it out, but I can't function like that. So I just eyeball something and then just stick it down. Now this I cut out of a bigger sheet, and see we've got that pumpkin going on there. Shall I fussy cut all this? Let's see. That kind of would be annoying. It's already cut up there. Now let's take that off. No, I don't like it. All right, so I'm going to trim that bottom off, and I'm going to trim these edges. Now, the nice thing about double-sided paper is that it's double-sided, but we may want something different on the back side. See, that's kind of dark. So if you want to use this as a journaling card or anything, that would be kind of tough. So I grabbed my vintage photo, and I'm just going to ink around this tag. I'm going to leave the edges square like that, but I am going to pop a hole. I'm going to pop a hole on the top. That's really little. Let's make that a bigger hole. Got bags of stuff everywhere. So I've got a bit of that thread that we stitched it together with. I've got that. I've got a little piece of cheesecloth. Let's see what we can do with this. See if I can scoot all this through and make it work. Sometimes I use a pair of tweezers. push, push your stuff through. This is why we don't throw away any little bits. Look how cute that is. I'm going to take a little bit of my hot glue. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit. So some of that string coming out that way and this way. And I'm going to see if I can get some hot glue down in there. To get that to stay where I want it. Now, I may want to be able to journal on the back of this. And I'm not going to tear every edge. Now, I wonder if my tape runner is working. I did fix it, I think. Let's just see. It's just not working right. I guess it's not twisting the right way. So we'll just add a little wet glue on the other side of this. This is a combo. See, if you're watching content creators and everything goes perfect, see, it doesn't. I don't edit my videos. That's probably not always a good idea, but I could be doing other stuff instead of fussing around with it, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't look like anything ever goes wrong or you don't make any mistakes. And that's just not the case, at least not with me. All right, so that's the first little tuck-in we have there. There may be other things we'll add to this pocket, but that's kind of a cute page, right? Not too bad, not too shabby. I'm just wondering how this would look if I put some like grunge around the edge of that. I've got my distressed crayons here. Let's see if I put some vintage photo on there. I've got bright and dark things working here, but maybe this is a little too bright. So I'm going to just dampen my brush and smush that around. Just give it a little character. And then what do I have that I can? All Hallows Eve. Where's the other part of that? Hello. I just think these pages are yummy. I know you can't feel them, but they feel really cool. They feel cool. They feel cool. Oh, it's up here. I was just wondering about making a pocket, but that's probably not a good idea. That's kind of a neat paper though, right? Okay, I'm thinking on that. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Round and round. Looks like this with the heat gun a little. So I'm just kind of wondering because I don't have a tremendous amount of Halloween stuff. Now, I do have other Halloween paper, but I don't think it would go with this. It's more, not really evil, but it's more Halloweeny. It's not cutesy. I think this paper is kind of cutesy. All right, let's trim this. Let's see, this is just a portion in the corner of one of the pages. And I don't think that's a straight edge, so let's get this. Let's see what the other side of this. Oh, here we go. Not sure I'm liking that, guys. See, I watch Midsummer Murders most evenings, and I forgot that music in my head. And the Barnabys are having a baby. If you watch that series, this one, the older ones, it's Chief Inspector Tom Barnaby. Now we're up to the part where it's his cousin has taken over, and he is John Barnaby. And they're having a baby. My sisters are tormenting me, saying, "You're going to love the name they pick." Apparently, we're having a girl. But it's very spooky music, and a lot of times the murders are spooky. Remember that song, Spooky? I'm dating myself. I'm quite old, you know. Now, if you have any questions while you're watching, leave me a message. I'd love to get back to you, give you my opinion. Now, I folded this up beforehand. And that can tuck it right in there. I need something over in this corner. Oh, this is tissue paper. So I want to keep that in mind because I don't want this to be too heavy. Maybe that little, just that little disc. I just feel like I need a little something there. Now somewhere I always have a bunch of whale's tail tags sitting here. I'm going to take a sip of my lemonade. Just lovely. All right, where do you go? Where'd you go? I've got some stacking going on here. It's so surprising, right? But there they are. There they are. I don't know if there's anything in here that's going to work. Let's just see. The other thing I have sitting here on my desk is some distressed type craft color paper, so that might come in handy as well. So let's see. Oh, I've got some manila tags here. Ooh, that's a possibility. Oh, that one might work too. So I like to put a hole in these and then put a charm or something, some beads or something. Let's see what I have in the way of charms. I can't imagine I don't have a pumpkin of some kind. It's just a matter of finding it, right? Leaves, I've got leaves. I think that's an animal. Arc de Triomphe. There's a bug. I don't like spiders and snakes. This is kind of cool because that could kind of be like a there's no jump rings on any of these though. There's a pumpkin. I don't know where I have any jump rings. I'll have to use a bulb pin. All right, let's ink this up. I kind of like the side with the words. Now I just had my, there it is, bone folder. I like to give this a pretty good crease. So you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just digging around in my stash, pulling out things that I have. I said on my last slide, I really got rid of most of my Halloween stuff. I do have some, have a stamp that says Halloween, and I've got a couple other things. Somewhere I have a really cool chandelier. I don't know where that is. I'm going to pop a hole in this. With my crocodile. Maybe I'll put it up towards the top. Grab a bulb pin. I love to keep those handy. I should do a video on my favorite things. The bulb pins are one of my favorite things. wonder if I put a little piece of this. Let's snip. This is very soft. It's really nice. And it's got that gold autumn type of look to it. Let's just fold that up, make it a little square. Just gives a little background for the pin. Now all I have to do is find a page to put this on. So I am not going to finish this on this live stream. Just wanted to give you some ideas of what I'm doing. I will finish it up and I will put it in my Etsy shop. See if someone would like to own it. Ah! I got out some of my, I got these this is a Tim Holtz stamp, his angry cats, whatever they are. They're some kind of crazy cats. There's my Halloween word. I do like those stamps, numbers and letters, so I might add some more of those in. Can you see these? Where's my, oh, where's that paper? Let me put one of this in here. Can you see these guys? So I might pop a few of those in. See, he looks like a Halloween cat, right? There's a couple birds. And then I might pop in some other things that wouldn't normally go in a Halloween journal. But see, like these are cool. So I might just pop that in there and some other things attached to some other pages and do some other fun stuff. Attach some kind of cutouts or buttons or something to the string here for the center. Yeah. So I think that's what I'll do. So let me know if you have any questions, but I think that's all I'm going to do for now. I've run over an hour, which I didn't really want to do that. But once you get going and you're digging through your stash and you're finding all this cool stuff, like I said, I don't have too much of these paper packs left to use up. But see, I might cut out those pumpkins and I might put, that All Hallows Eve, on one of the pages. I'll just see. It's so fun for me. I just love building journals. I really do. There's really not too much I don't love when it comes to the art world and working with my hands and creating. It's just fun for me. So thanks for joining me. Leave me a comment. If you give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate that as well. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It would be great if you hit the notification bell. But, some folks, don't want to have that popping up all the time on their phone. They're in a meeting or whatever, and that's fine. I'm just looking to get to 2,000, and then I'm going to do a few giveaways. No big deal. Just have a little something going on where folks can participate and maybe win something. So that's all for this video workshop, if you will, Halloween journal build. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget, take time to be creative and enjoy the journey. And I'll see you next time. Might be a video, might be a live, but I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.